How's it going, guys? I think I have the team for the All Blacks that will be able to fend off the Springboks and potentially come away with that Eden Park record unscathed. So I want to break it down. Please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's get into it. Now, like I said, the Springboks are going to be bringing the heat. They're going to be coming physical. They're going to be coming with a lot of energy, a lot of pace, and they're probably going to be putting in a much better fight than what they did up against the Wallabies. Now, the All Blacks felt a real blow when they had to face Argentina in that second test, and they really got a little bit of an idea on what that pressure is going to be like, especially up against the Springboks, who are going to be bringing a lot of energy. They're going to be fighting at the breakdown, and they're going to be coming very, very physical with the likes of Ibanetzevet, Oxenche, Malcolm Marx, Ruan Nogia, Marco van Staden, Peter Steph de Toy. There's a lot of physicality. They got big engines. But whether the All Blacks will be able to outplay them comes down to a different story, because the All Blacks, they are very quick. Once they get their face play going, they are very good. You have players like Beauden Barrett, who's able to pop those little balls off everywhere and create real danger from even the tightest of spaces. So, like I said, I think this team will do relatively well, taking consideration what we do have. Razor hasn't announced his squad to play the Springboks as of yet, so I'm just kind of going off of current information from what we've already had on who is potentially going to be coming up as injury replacements and so on. I don't know, but this is just going off of the squad that played Argentina. Now, my front row, we have Tamaiti Williams, Cody Taylor, and Tyrell Lomax. I do believe Tyrell Lomax and Tamaiti Williams should be fit and ready for the Springboks game, so I can definitely see them slotting straight in. I think they're going to need that physicality, especially up against that Springbok front pack. And then Cody Taylor as my hooker. So I think this would be really, really strong. And then having people like Ethan de Groot and Fletcher Newell on the bench as replacements to come on when those legs are tired and just add that extra kind of physical boost. In terms of my lock pairing, I do believe Patrick Tupelutu might be back. Whether he's going to be back in time, only time will tell. But I am going Scott Barrett and Fabian Holland. Fabian Holland has been playing his absolute socks off. He deserves that spot at number 5. And Scott Barrett's more than likely going to end up captaining the side. So he's very much in the same position that Ibanetzevet is. He's pretty much guaranteed that number 4 slot. In terms of the backs, I think we're going Tupou Vaa'i, who adds a lot of versatility. He can also cover 5 as well if absolutely needed. But having him, his kind of engine is going to be essential at the breakdown. Then we have Ardie Savea at 7 and Wallace Atiti at 8. I think these are going to be crucial. They're able to move that ball around very quickly, provide those big hits, provide those big carries as well, and really, add that extra little bit of oomph at the breakdown, because the Springboks are going to be coming in hot. They are going to want to contest everything. They're going to want to frustrate the All Blacks and going to try and break down their rhythm. So having monsters like Wallace Atiti, like Ardie Savea, like Tupou Vaa'i is going to be essential to them keeping control of that game, and then using someone like Beauden Barrett to start distributing. In terms of the number 9 slot, this one, they are very, very thin, with Cortez Ratima out, with Cam Roygaard out. Whether they're going to be fit in time, I think Cortez Ratima should be fit, but I'm going under the assumption that he's not going to be fit. So I am going to be giving Finley Christie the start at number 9. I mean, he played pretty well when he came out up against Argentina. He definitely did have a positive effect, but the Argentinians, they were just ruthless, and the All Blacks kind of felt that. Beauden Barrett, I think he keeps that slot. I don't think there's anybody taking it. DMAC can potentially fill in if needed. He can fill in at 10. He can fill in at 15 as well. But personally, Beauden Barrett, he's going to start that game all day long, and he's going to be the biggest nightmare out of everybody. So if the Springboks going to want to get anything out of this game, they need to neutralize Beauden Barrett, because, again, once he gets into his rhythm, he's damn near enough impossible to stop. Quite possibly the best fly half in world rugby right now, especially when it comes down to his experience, his ability to play the ball with hand, his ability to use his kicking ability, his kicking range is ridiculous, and just that ability to just work under pressure is damn near enough next to none. So Bowden Barrett is a very, very, very big cog in the All Blacks engine. And then my wingers, I'm going Reiko Ioane, Severis. I really, really can't see Razor changing that up. I think they've played pretty well. They add a lot of speed. They add a lot of physicality. They're very quick on their feet. Able to break ankles as well. Obviously, we do have Tavatanawai, who's also able to come on. He can play that 14. He can play that 13. He can also play 11. You have Narawa as well to potentially play the 14. That there's a lot to replace. I'm hoping Leonard Brown will be available as well, in which case he can also fill in those center roles. But I feel we are going to see Severis and we are going to see Reiko Ioane on the wings. And then in terms of the centers, again, I can't see him changing from Geordie Barrett and Billy Proctor. I think Billy Proctor, he's definitely improving. He has got such a big ceiling in terms of his talent. He needs to become a lot more consistent. He needs to become a lot more physical. He needs to have a lot more of a presence. But when you have a partner like Geordie Barrett next to you, that definitely does help. He's learning a lot. He's getting better with each game. And Geordie Barrett is just Geordie Barrett. Unreal. I can't believe that the New Zealand press prior to all of this, when Geordie Barrett was playing for Leinster, they were saying about how Geordie Barrett, he's going to need to earn his way back onto the team. He's not going to start. There was all this debate about how Geordie Barrett, because he's playing in the north, it's not at the same quality, and they're saying Super Rugby is far superior than the URC. And Geordie Barrett steps into that. He dances that guy. He moonwalks back into that All Black side, and we see why. The quality that this guy holds is unreal. How this was even a conversation that Geordie Barrett does not step immediately back in, I don't even know how this was a conversation. I really don't. But Geordie Barrett, killer, monster. It's Geordie Barrett. And then in terms of my 15, I am going Will Jordan all day, every day. No way I'm picking anybody else other than Geordie Barrett. And I think you would be absolutely ridiculous to pick somebody else that's not Will Jordan. So, quite possibly the scariest player in the All Black side, Will Jordan. You don't know. His ability to be unpredictable, ridiculous. He will make something out of nothing. One of the best 15s in world rugby, easy. Now, in terms of the bench, this is probably going to be changing a fair amount. This is just what I'm kind of going with. We're going Samisoni Taukei'aho. Honestly, after the performances that he did put up against Argentina, this guy, he is a monster. Capable of getting tries, capable of making those big hits. Brilliant, brilliant player, especially when coming off the bench. So Samisoni Taukei'aho, Ethan de Groot, and then Fletcher Newell at 18. Very mobile, very big, very strong, big engines for when you need them. When you have the players like Tara Lomax, when you have the players like Tamaiti Williams, who are eventually going to end up getting tired, you're going to have the Springboks bring on their bomb squad. You are going to be wanting players like Ethan de Groot and Fletcher Newell to really pack that punch. So having them in the back is definitely a lovely, lovely sight to see. And what kind of depth that they have, like I say, God tier, just like the Springbok, God tier. When you're able to have someone like Ethan de Groot and Fletcher Newell on the bench to come on the 50th, 60th minute to start causing havoc. What better headache could you possibly ask for? So that's going to be there. Now, whether Patrick Tuipulotu is going to be coming on or Lord will jump into that, either or, we'll see how that goes. But I'm hoping Tuipulotu will be back. He did have a pretty big injury, so I don't know whether he's actually going to be fit and ready for the Springboks game. But otherwise, I think his name's Josh Lord. We'll probably end up seeing him filling in that spot. Luke Jacobson, which I think he will be ready. Obviously, he covers the 6, 7, 8. He's a big workhorse. He's got everything you could potentially want and a big engine. So, having him come on the 50th minute is definitely going to be a very big thing, especially if the All Blacks are in front and then you want someone to add that extra dimension. Jacobson is definitely the man that you want. I'm hoping that Cortez Ratima is going to be available. If Cortez Ratima is available, I can definitely see him starting and then Vinny Christie on the bench. Otherwise, if Cortez Ratima isn't available, I don't even know who they're going to end up picking. Razor will probably scour the Super Rugby for a replacement. There are a couple of players there, but they just aren't anywhere near experienced, but they definitely do have some serious talent. So that one's still up for grabs. I have D-Mac. He covers that 10. He covers that 15. He's brilliant in terms of going forward. He's unpredictable. He's experienced. He's a well-seasoned vet. So having him, another big pro, covers quite a lot around the back row as well. And he is very consistent. So it's just unfortunate that you have players like Will Jordan and Bowden Barrett keeping him out of that regular spot. But DMAC definitely gets bench for me, and then Caleb Clark as well. I think he is an absolute bright star, whether he comes on, covers those wings. He is a spark. He brings that power, he brings that energy, and he would definitely be a sight for sore eyes if he is to come through. So that's my 23. I think that this team has enough to be able to beat the Springboks. We're gonna see what kind of squad the All Blacks are going to be releasing. I'll probably make a new video once that comes through. I just think looking at the crop of players that are available, that are potentially going to be coming available fit and ready for the upcoming Springboks game, I think this would be a very, very strong All Black side that will be able to put up a major test up against the Springboks, because they're going to be coming in with a lot of intensity. They're going to be coming in very tall, very strong, very good at the breakdown, and very good when it comes down to set pieces. So I think this adds a little bit of everything from the breakdown, from the set pieces, that add that strength, that add that speed, that add that agility, and then you have the tactical masterminds like Bowden Barrett, Will Jordan, even D-Mac if he comes on, that can create havoc at a moment's notice. So let me know what your starting 23 would be up against the Springboks, and can't wait for Razor to release his squad to play them. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.